Hi guys, so today we are going to be making scratch boards. Scratch boards are where you're going to start filling the page with color and then coloring over it with black. Okay, so you're going to first by taking your paper. You could divide up into small sections. I'm using a note card. It's really up to you. You're going to be coloring big areas of color. You could choose only 2 colors. You could choose a lot of different colors, but you're going to color pressing down really hard and filling up the whole area with color. If you don't, then when you scratch it off, there's nothing going to be there. So you fill up the page with color. Okay, once you've filled up your whole area with color, so I had several, your next job is going to be to color over it. I'm using a black oil pastel to color over it. If you can do this whole thing with oil pastel, that would be great. If you don't have an oil pastel, then you can do it with a crayon and it will still work. It just won't be as vivid, meaning the contrast between the black and the color won't be as bright. So you're going to go ahead and fill up that whole page. I have a paper underneath mine to keep it clean. Do your best to fill in as many of those little white spots as you can. But be careful once you've gotten most of your black covered, it's going to start coming off on your fingers. And if your crayon or your oil pastel gets too low, it's going to start coming off when you press down. That'll actually scrape it off. Okay, so that is one way to do it. The other way is just use a black crayon. As you can see on this one, it didn't cover up as well as the black oil pastel, but you can still try. You press down pretty hard. With my crayon, I'm going all the same direction, and then I'll go back over it a different direction. Okay, so go ahead and get as much black covering your crayon as possible. Just know there's going to be just a very different look to it if you do it with crayons. And that doesn't mean it's wrong, it just means it's what we have available. I'm looking forward to when we all get back in school and I can share all my supplies with you again. Okay, so I'm filling that whole thing up, pressing down really hard. I know I normally say color all the same direction, but this one I actually want you to color back and forth in multiple directions so that you can try and fill in those colors as much as possible. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my tools to try and scrape some of my black off. Okay, one thing you can use is a paper clip. You can bend it and open it up. You can use the point to draw with right there. You could use either end of a chopstick. You could use an old tack. You can use a screwdriver tip. You can try a coin, okay? So I'm going to try on this one. I'm going to try and draw my gingerbread man. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw him out first. There's an arm. There's a leg. Now my tool, I found out that it's easier to draw one direction than the other. So just experiment with your tool. Know that it's not going to be precise. It's not a pencil, right? Okay. So if yours doesn't look the way you want, you could try another tool. Okay, I'm going to try the tack next and see if I can get a good point with that. That feels kind of funky. I'm going to scrape right off here. There's my other arm. And it goes right back in. All right, I could try. With this one, I was thinking about taking off all the color on the outside. So if you have big areas, you might use something like a coin to scratch off the big area. So I'm going to try and scratch off the area outside and around my gingerbread. Okay, so I scraped all the area around the outside. So I used actually the flat end of this. I could have used the back end of my chopstick to scrape off. So I ended up clearing off a lot of area. Now that I have all the outside done, I might want to add a few little details on the inside, like buttons. So I could use my sharp tool again to try and get those buttons drawn. This tool is not being my favorite. Okay, so I might go ahead and try a different tool. Try your screwdriver again, using one of my ends of my chopstick on this one. And I would suggest that you go ahead and experiment with different tools around your house. So I have my buttons, and I just might put in some eyes. Nose, and my mouth. So that's just one way of doing it, okay? You could add more details on the legs or on the arms. That's just one. Now if I'm going to do my gingerbread man on this one, I could go ahead and I could start by drawing him out. Okay, there's the head, coming down to the arm, coming down to the leg. And again, remember, this is using oil pastel, so it's going to look a little different. The color is going to be more vivid or more bright, like we were talking about, right? So now I have the basic outline of my gingerbread man. So I may, on this one, decide, okay, I'm not going to color the outside. I'm going to scratch off a bunch of the inside. So, okay, I'm making a boot on this guy. And maybe I want to make an actual boot. I could go ahead and do that. Once I have the boots on, maybe I'm going to go through and I'll add the detail. Maybe I have a zigzag line right here. And a zigzag line on the other one. Get some bright colors in here. Maybe I want to make mittens on my gingerbread person. And I'm just scratching till all the color comes off. Maybe this one I want to have, maybe this guy has pants on. I don't know. Look, he's getting pants. And maybe a shirt. So now my gingerbread person has shirt and a pants and mittens on. Maybe the arms also have some zigzag detail. Guys, your gingerbread person is up to you how you want to make it. Okay, you could give your gingerbread person a name. Hey guys. Add a little mouth. I think I'm gonna make some wild and crazy hair. The hair is up to you guys. Just remember, it's not like drawing with a pencil. It's going to be harder to control. You don't know what color is going to be underneath. So it's going to be kind of a surprise. And it's going to get pretty messy. So make sure you're in an area where it's okay to get messy.